Lata Samindu Pihitai. We are delighted to welcome you to the special live broadcast of the Day Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Kandy. The Day Perahera ceremony of the Kandy Esala Perahera is held on the 11th day of the festival and is remarked as the final procession to take place as part of the annual Esala Perahera festivities. Much popularly known as the Dahaval Perahera, this special procession has its own special characteristics that differentiates itself from the Kumbal and Randoli Peraharas that we saw over the past 10 nights. On the previous night, after the conclusion of the final Randoli Perahera, one would assume that the Perahera actually concluded, just like the nights before. But the final Randoli Perahera has a different conclusion compared to the other dates. In fact, the royal Tusker, who assumingly concluded his street perambulations, shall once again step down the moonstone right at the special auspicious time, right after midnight, which surprisingly reorganizes a Perahera that will proceed towards the Askiriya Gedige Viharaya. A special Perahera, which is known as the Gedige Perahera, is merely a smaller version of the Grand Randoli Perahera, which is glamoured with few elephants and dance items, and it shall proceed down the Dalada Vidya, take a turn down to Tiesena Nayaka Vidya, and head straight to the Askiriya Gedige Viharaya, which is also known as the Adahana Maluwa Viharaya. Walking up front with the sound of thundering whips piercing through the skies are the whip crackers announcing that the procession has commenced, and these whip masters are tasked with clearing the way for the sacred relic casket and the king. And today too, at the final Day Perahera, these whip masters are asking for the rain from the rain gods to begin the Day Perahera session. And coming up next, you are now seeing the arrival of the Buddhist flag bearers who are taking part in the final Day Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. In the ancient tradition that the Perahera relic casket will be reverentially kept at the Gedige Viharaya on the final night after the final Randori Perahera, which will be taken out on this Day Perahera. This temple that belongs to the chapter of Askiriya under the great Siam Mahanikaya that governs the Sri Dalada Maligawa is known as Adahana Maluwa, or cremating ground, since it was in fact the royal cremating ground of the Kandian kingdom. As we witnessed, the arrival of the Buddhist flag bearers, now we are about to witness the arrival of the first elephant or the Tusker who will take part in the day Perahera. This elephant will be carrying the Peramunerala of Sri Dalada Maligawa, who is bringing us the message about the day Perahera. And today, on this day Perahera, the Tusker who is carrying the Peramunerala would be the Tusker Pulatisiraja of Sri Dalada Maligawa. And this is the arrival of the official Hevisi troop of Sri Dalada Maligawa. And now you are seeing the Gajanayaka Nilame of Sri Dalada Maligawa, who is taking part in the day Perahera on the mount of the Tusker Sindhu, who belongs to Malbatu Mahavihara, Kandy. If we talk again about this day Perahera, the speciality of the Gedike Perahera that we were discussing about a few minutes ago, it is even the rituaries of the Satara Devala, Natha, Vishnu, Kataragama and Pattini to join the splendor of this soft procession, which shall parade all the way down to the Gedike Vihara and head back to the respective shrines once the relic casket is handed over to the custodian monks of the Gedike Vihara. Following the Gajanayaka Nilame, this is the arrival of the West Dance Troupe, who will be welcoming the ceremonial Tusker and the accompanying Tuskers, who will be carrying the sacred relic casket. Today is the 11th and the final day of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, which is taking place for the 1714th time since it was begun during the reign of King Kirti Sri Meghavarna. Kandy Esala Perahera is one of the greatest cultural festivals or celebrations which take place in Sri Lanka annually, and it is to ask for the rain from the rain gods. It is believed that the Perahera has been held in request of rain from the rain gods, and today, with the blessings of the rain, we are now seeing the arrival of the ceremonial Tuskers who are carrying the sacred tooth relic casket. And today the ceremonial Tusker would be the Tusker Singharaja of Sri Dalada Maligawa, and he will be accompanied by the Tusker Koti Raja of Koti Raja Mahavihara and the Tusker Mian Raja of Sri Dalada Maligawa. As we witness the devotion and the veneration that we feel with the arrival of the sacred tooth relic casket. This is the arrival of the chamber of versifiers, who are known as the Kavikara Maduwa. They will be following the ceremonial Tuskers, who are carrying the sacred relic casket while singing about the Lord Buddha. And with that being said, we are now seeing the second West troop, who will be accompanying the Honorable Diyavada Nilame, who is the lay custodian of the Sacred Tooth Relic. And the Diyavada Nilame is the person who would resemble the king in the present days. With a great majesty, this is the arrival of the Diyavada Nilame of Sri Dalada Maligawa, Honorable Pradeep Nilangadala, and he is welcomed and greeted by the West Dance Troupe. And following the Diyavada Nilame, we can see the Vidanes of the 10 associated villages, the chieftains of the 10 associated villages of Sri Dalada Maligawa, taking part in the street perambulations. It should be noted that the main ritual that is held in this 11th day is the deer capping, or the water cutting ceremony, where the 4 ceremonial elephants of the 4 Devala shrines shall lead the shrines together at the early dawn, at the auspicious time, towards the bank of the Mahabali river in Yatale, that is known as the historic Deer Kapana Thotta. And that being said, this is the commencement of the Sri Natha Devala procession of the day Perahera. And as the commencing act, we are witnessing the arrival of the Buddhist flag bearers. Goddess Natha is actually known as the next in line to attain the Buddhahood. So to symbolize that, to depict that, we can see the Buddhist flag opening the way and paving the way for the Sri Natha Devala procession. And on the mount of the first elephant, we can see an official who will be carrying a flag in which a special portrait of Lord Natha is portrayed. And this is the official heavy troop of Sri Natha Devala, who are designated with the daily, weekly and annual rituals of sound offerings of the Sri Natha Devala. Following the Hevesi dance troupe, we can see the arrival of a Savaran dance troupe, adding color to the Sri Mahanatha Devala procession of the day Perahera. And if we talk about the water cutting ceremony once again, this water cutting ceremony is an age-old ritual that marks the end of the Perahera rituals, where the priests of the 4 Devala shrines will slash the current of the flowing river water with a sword, and the first swirl of water that emerges from the sword slashing is collected to a pot, which will be carefully kept at the Devala till the next Esala Perahera festival. If you look at the surrounding, you will see that there's a heavy rain today to this ancient city of Sankadagala, but still we can see many onlookers and devotees gathered around this city to witness the finale of this grand celebration of Sri Lankan cultural heritage. And coming up next on the mount of the second elephant of Sri Mahanatha Devala procession, this is the Gajanayaka Nilame of Sri Mahanatha Devalaya. Gajanayaka Nilame, in fact, is the official who is in charge of the elephant troop of the particular Devalaya or Sri Mahanatha Devalaya. And this is the arrival of the West Dance troupe, who will be welcoming the arrival of the ceremonial elephant, who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Lord Natha. This is the 11th day of Kandy Esala Perahera, and this is the final day Perahera, which will conclude the Esala Perahera festivities for this year. Today, the godly ornaments of Lord Natha will be carried by the elephant Arjuna of Vauru Kannada Raja Mahavihara, and Arjuna will be accompanied by the elephant Sadev Raja and the she elephant Kuweni, who belongs to Mr. Mahinda Millangoda. Let us take a moment to pay our respect to the godly ornaments of Lord Natha. following the ceremonial elephant and the accompanying elephants who are carrying the godly ornaments of God Natha. This is the arrival of the second West group of Sri Natha Devala procession, who will be welcoming the arrival of the Basnayaka Nilame. Actually, the Basnayaka Nilames of Sri Natha Devala as well as the affiliated Natha Devalas of Kandy. It is in fact a tradition that accompanying the Basnayak Nilame of Sri Natha Devala, the Basnayak Nilames of affiliated Devalas will be also taking part in this day Perahera. You can now see the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Natha Devala grazing the final and the day Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. As it concludes the Sri Natha Devala procession of the day Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera, this is the commencement of the Sri Vishnu Devala procession. And as the commencing act, this is the arrival of the state and provincial flag bearers who are leading the way to the Sri Vishnu Devala procession. There is a special reason that we see these state and provincial flags at the beginning of Sri Vishnu Devala procession. It is because that the Lord Vishnu is believed to be the guardian of Sri Lanka, and he is believed to be safeguarding Sri Lanka by overlooking the country from natural disasters or any other bad things which can happen to the country. So to depict that, we can see in every Vishnu Devala Perahera the commencing these flag bearers, these state flag bearers, as the commencing act of the procession. And with that being said, this is the Sri Vishnu Devala procession, and this is the official heavy troop of Sri Vishnu Devala. And on the mount of the first elephant, we can see an official who is carrying a sun-moon flag. The sun-moon flag, in fact, depicts that the Lord Vishnu will be safeguarding this country till the sun and moon exist. And on the mount of the second elephant, we can see the Gajanayaka Nilame of Sri Vishnu Devala. And leading the way to the Gajanayaka Nilame, we can also see a group of Panteru dancers. It is truly fascinating to see that amidst the rain and this weather, amidst the pouring rain, these performers are very devoted in performing for the god, for the three gods, as well as the goddess Pattini. And also we saw many performers taking part in the Sri Dalada Maligawa procession as well, fulfilling the duty to the extreme. This is after performing for like 10 days, and still they are very committed and devoted to this esteemed task of performing on the Perahera. And this is the climax of the West dance performance. And these dance artists will be welcoming the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of God Vishnu. Today, the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of God Vishnu would be the elephant Rama of Mr. Tudor Gunathilakkal, and Rama will be accompanied by the she-elephant Muthu, who belongs to Mr. Indika Mudunkot, as well as the she-elephant Parami, who belongs to Mrs. Krishanti Alapatha. And this is the West Dance troupe who will be welcoming the arrival of the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Mahavishnu Devala and the Basnayaka Nilames of the affiliated Vishnu Devalas in Kandy. And as it concludes Sri Mahavishnu Devala procession, this is the commencement of the Sri Kataragama Devala procession of the day Perahera, Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. Leading the way, this is a troop of Buddhist flag bearers. And following the Buddhist and the state flag bearers, this is the arrival of the official heads troop of Sri Kataragama Devala. This particular heads group is very special because of the fast tempo and the fast rhythms that they use, which is very unique to the particular Devala as well as the cult of God Kataragama as well. And on the mount of this first elephant that you are witnessing on this live broadcast, we are now seeing the Gajanayaka Nilame of Sri Kataragama Devala. It is an important fact on this day Perahera, on the live broadcast of the day Perahera, you will be witnessing certain dance items and certain Perahera items only. but still, it does not reduce the glamour or the beauty of this grand celebration. This is the greatest pageant which celebrates the culture. And following the first dance act, which was a Thalam dance act, we can now see impending arrival of Savarang dance troupe. See two officials on the mounts of two elephants carrying the sun and the moon symbols. And the next dance act for today would be a Paturu dance act. This is the 11th and the final day of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. And amidst the pouring rain, we can see these dance performers performing with much veneration to pay their respect to the sacred tooth relic as well as to the four deities of Kataragama Devala. And this is the arrival of the most unique dance act, performing act of the Sri Maha Kataragama Devala, which is the Kavadi dance. And we can hear the unique tunes that we only hear in Sri Maha Kataragama Devala processions. These tunes and most of these dance items have the South Indian influence in it. And to note about this year's Kandy Esala Perahera, it is taking place for the 1714th time since it was begun during the reign of the King Kirti Sri Meghavarna. And Kandy Esala Perahera 2024 was started on the 10th of August, and today on the 20th of August we are ready to conclude this year's Kandy Esala Perahera festivities. And with that being said, this is the arrival of the Peacock Dance troupe. This Peacock Dance is also a very unique item in Sri Maha Kataragama Devala procession. Peacock, in fact, is a symbol which is very much connected with the legend and the cult of Lord Kataragama. During the past 10 days, we witnessed so many performers taking part in Kandy Esala Perahera, and among them we saw very young performers as the performers that we can see right now, and it depicts how these traditions are passed down from generation to generation, and it gives us the hope that these traditions will be safeguarded in the future years too. Most probably for many years to come. And following the peacock dances, this is the West Dance Troupe, who will be accompanying, who will be actually welcoming the most venerated arrival of the ceremonial elephants, who will be carrying the godly ornaments of god Kataragama. So this is the most awaited moment of Sri Kataragama Devala procession, which is the arrival of the ceremonial elephant, who will be carrying the godly ornaments of god Kataragama. And we can also see the Nadaswaram performers too, leading the way. Let us take a moment to pay our respect to the godly ornaments of Lord Kataragama. And this is the arrival of the second West Dance Troupe of Sri Kataragama Devala procession, who will be welcoming the arrival of the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Kataragama Devala, as well as the affiliated shrines which are dedicated to Lord Kataragama, which are situated in the city of Kandy. It should be noted that during the past 10 days, as well as the past 1713 years, we got the privilege of worshipping the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha with this Perahera. But it is an interesting fact from the history that in ancient times the sacred tooth relic has been considered as a private property of the king. The public had never been permitted in having a chance of worshipping it. And as that concluded Sri Kataragama Devala procession, this is the beginning of the final procession of the Satara Devala processions, which is the Sri Pattini Devala procession. And following the Buddhist flag bearers and the official Hevisi troupe, this is the arrival of the Gajanayaka Nilame of Sri Pattini Devala on the mount of the first elephant of the procession. And this is the arrival of the West Dance Troupe, who will be welcoming the impending arrival of the ceremonial elephant and the accompanying elephants who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Goddess Pattini. Today, in the Sri Pattini Devala procession, the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Goddess Pattini would be the elephant Madhu of Mutiyangana Rajamahavihara. Let us take a moment to feel the devotion and to pay our respect to the godly ornaments of Goddess Pattini. And this is the arrival of the second West Dance troupe, who will be welcoming the Basnaik Nilame of Sri Pattini Devala, or the Basnaik Nilames of the affiliated Pattini Devalas which are located around Kandy. The performers who take part in Kandy Esala Perahera are assigned with 3 virtuous tasks, which are being faithful to the task, being disciplined in what they do, and of course being skilled in practice of what they do. And this task or these qualities that they are bound to practice depict the devotion and the esteemed nature of these performing arts that they are performing to pay the homage for the sacred tooth relic as well as the 4 deities of Satara Mahadevalas. And these are the 4 palanquins, which are called Randoli in Sinhalese, and they are carried at the end of the procession during the 5 nights of Randoli Peraheras as well as today's day Perahera. These palanquins represent the Queen's identity in the Perahera, and that marks the end of the day Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. For 10 consecutive nights, we witnessed the glamour of the Perahera while appreciating our proud heritage that we pledge to preserve.